What's up, everybody? Welcome to the ADHD Sports Podcast. Will Brinson here, along with Tom Lavolsi, Trent Penix, and Mac Hammer. It is his real name.
Let's go, baby.
This is the election episode. No,
That's right.
No, joke. We're joking. We're not.
We'll also be covering religion and parenting.
That's right. Actually, Tom did want to talk about me having my son in Weeblos for some reason. But before we get to that, we should point out.
Wait, did you just call it Weeblos?
Weeblos is like before Boy Scouts.
And it's, wait a minute.
It's
There is a Boy
Cub
Scout. Hold on. There is a Cub Scouts program called Weeblos.
No, Weebelos.
Okay. I was about to say, guys, this is getting a little out of hand.
That's actually the Catholic Church pre-program.
That's right. I was about to, okay. You guys are next to me.
And I say that as someone who pays for Catholic school every month. Right. Before we get started, we should note that we are filming this episode live from Cary at the Albatross Golf Pub, which, gotta tell you, unbelievable setup. If you want to come and hit balls on this exquisite, look at Pebble Beach behind us.
It is Sean, so yeah, come
Sean
see.
and Paul.
Sean and Paul. Sean says it is painfully accurate, and I can attest that is the fucking case.
Yes, so if you can see the score in the back there, I haven't been playing for myself, that's why I'm not over.
That's not accurate.
That's not me. I didn't hit it into the woods. If you use, by the way, if you book online for the Albatross Golf Pub, and use promo code ADHD Sports, you'll get 15% off your booking. So highly recommend that. Highly recommend you come out here and check it out. Bunch of bays, great setup, incredible whiskey.
The food, they have some
exquisite,
a bunch of different glizzies and smash burgers and tots. They take care of their employees here. They've got an option where you can buy the kitchen a 6-pack. I don't know if you guys saw it, but right in the heart of downtown Cary. If you haven't been to downtown Cary in a while, it is pretty tits.
It's historic.
It's fucking awesome. I mean, I grew up around here, and there's a bunch of what used to be. What the fuck? What are you doing? It's typically downtown Cary has been a pretty boring place. It's got like little, I don't know why I use the word Quaker, but like little fucking single family old ass brick houses that are now replaced with some pretty cool shit.
I'm already excited for Tom's text saying, please edit the part out where I insulted Cary.
I didn't insult Cary. I mean, look.
Aren't you from Apex?
No, I'm Quaker.
I'm pretty sure he's from Apex.
Scottish Hills represent. Davin Van, what up? So yeah, Davin, I don't know if even you knew this. Davin, I've known Davin since the day he was born. And that's a good segue into senior day. But yeah, Davin and his mom Joy, we grew up together, like right next door pretty much. Scottish Hills represent. Cary, it's funny, there's two schools of thought when it comes to this new revamping of downtown Cary. The people that grew up here, some of them, but Trent, when we're done, I'll walk you around. There's like $1 million condos right behind us. It's nice as shit. There's a bunch of nice bars, restaurants. My new office, Mac, is right there.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so yeah, Sean.
You know,
and,
I thought that store there was gonna be a different kind of store.
Yeah.
A different kind of establishment.
Oh, Gentleman's Corner?
Yeah,
you were looking for?
Yeah,
There's actually,
I was like, Pure Gold's got a little competition.
Pure Gold is no more. Pure Gold used to be right there. It's gone.
I don't know the guy. I know. I think I know him. I don't know like Harrison. Yeah, but there's like one in High Point where I'm from. One in Wilmington. Apparently, and like you can go in there and get fitted and like. So like you gotta get fitted and roll over here and hit some balls and like you can like pound whiskey while you get fitted.
In your new suit.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be a fun episode. Yeah, exactly. Well, fuck, I'm wearing cowboy boots trying to hit. I knew this was going to be a good episode. Where I walked in, Sean said, "I just got some Weller, some E.H. Taylor,
yeah,
some E.H. Taylor." So yeah, awesome selection of whiskey, bourbon. Anyway, come check it out, the Albatross. So, segue, senior day, NC State.
That's actually not a segue. A
a
segue is when it's like something related to take you to the next thing.
Listen,
or it's got two wheels and you ride it around.
Yeah, you have fun with your Weeblos. So, senior day.
We had an excellent hike, thank you.
Are we supposed to, do we look at each other or look at the...
It doesn't really matter.
Look, nobody's even looking at us. Who cares?
I mean...
So I think this
might
be...
True.
I was asking Will.
Yeah, the stats, but let me tell you something. I think this might be the first episode that makes it to YouTube.
Oh, I like it.
What do you think?
Are we there? Yeah. I think this is also
this is a better setup, right?
I mean, literally, I'm just waiting on the file from last time.
We weren't ready.
No, that's all me.
I think that's serendipitous. It's just divine intervention.
The audio was you said
audio was terrible. I said some things I shouldn't have said. Trent threw up live on camera.
Did that happen?
I'm just kidding.
Did y'all record it? What happened to you and wasn't it you and Trent and Thayer?
Yeah, I still have that one. Me, Trent, and Thayer. Yeah, I'll send you that.
Yeah,
we'll post that.
So the YouTube channel is at all caps ADHD Sports.
Did you leave the caps lock button on?
I love lamp.
It currently has 0 viewers, 0 videos, and
That's
0
right.
subscribers.
0 videos. That's fine. This is the
That'll
first
change
one. I
soon.
feel good
That's
about
right.
this.
What-
That's right.
Do you think that if we get into a heated discussion about Senior Day, the NC State loss to Duke at Carter Finley, the final game of the year at home, third home loss, which is the first time I think since 2019. I think we lost 3 home games.
Yeah.
For sure, right? Like,
Yeah.
right.
That was the.
The fact that what do you think? I ask you guys, what do you think the percentage chances are that Tom says something about about the football team? Where he's like, I need that cut out.
I think he still wants to talk about that call from 2 weeks ago.
The absolutely potentially catastrophic decision to accept a penalty.
Oh,
first.
no,
I was kidding. We don't want to really bring it
Instead
up.
of
We don't want to
second and
rehash.
18,
We don't wanna
had that
rehash.
kicker not missed.
So here's the thing about, like, we talk about, I like always talk about expectations and like how, like, football's a week to week game, and we always say we shouldn't take 1 week results and get all worked up about it, but like that's the whole like point of it, right? Go out and beat Stanford at home. CJ Bailey, we're talking about NC State, of course. We'll get to your beloved Tar Heels.
I didn't even know NC State played Duke this weekend.
Yeah, you were hoping for an airstrike or something like that.
Wait a minute, what kind of airstrike are we talking?
Someone called it a bomb threat. It's weird. It's
Yeah,
weird.
it's like every time it's like Carolina and Duke play basketball, I'm like,
You
I don't know.
know
Like,
what?
something happened.
Implosion wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah, exactly. But like, you go out and beat Stanford. CJ Bailey looks awesome. He's popping the ball in these social
Offensive
media.
line looked awesome.
Offensive line looks awesome. Like, just a dominant performance. And it's like, okay, it's like, this season isn't what NC State wanted, what we wanted, but if you go out and you win the last 3 games, which are winnable.
Which are Doran's MO too.
Yeah, it's just classic Doran. Go out and win the last 3 games, finish 8-4. We're talking about what could have been, but at least it ends up being a really good season. Maybe you get to 9 wins with a bowl. And then you go out and you hold Duke to 31 yards rushing, and they don't convert a single third down in the game. They had 2 first downs in the game, I believe, both by penalty, and you lose at home on Senior Day.
What happened? Was it all special teams?
No,
I don't- I didn't.
That's a really
What
hard
was the
question.
score? 3-0?
Exactly. It was 5-3 at one point.
So
It was 2-0 at one point. They got a safety on the first possession. So
Okay.
State's like back up against the goal line, just immediate safety. You're like, well, we know how this is.
yeah, and then fumble on the next one. So Trent, unfortunately, we did not get to do our. Trent has never tailgated. So as a spectator, so
29-19 was the
and
final.
you're not going to have an opportunity
Okay.
to do it because
How?
that
And they
was
got
our
2
last
first
fucking
downs?
game.
No, we had 2 first downs both by Billy, I believe. I'll double check.
So Trent, as as a former player on the team, watching that game, what lost us that game?
I would just say, like, mainly what I've seen was just inconsistency. Like, there'll be, like, spurts and whatnot.
16 first downs.
There'll be times where they're moving the ball, and it's like, once you see them move the ball, well, I ain't gonna lie, what really started off the game was that safety. Like, once they got, like, backed up, I'm sitting there like, bro, we cannot take this safety and, like, let them gain the momentum right now. And then they took that safety, and then the momentum, they rolled with the momentum. They started getting up yards, and it's like, and the thing is, we couldn't even get in the box. And I was like, bro, we moving the ball, we doing something, like, we're being efficient sometimes, like, most of the time. But, like, it's just we can't get in the box, and that's really what we need, especially in crucial times. Like, you're going to need those 7 points more than 3 points, and at the end of the day, like, what was the final score? Like,
So it ended up being 29-19. I was wrong about the 2. What I meant was they only got on third down. They converted 2 third downs both via penalty, but they just don't count this. You know, like you don't.
Right.
So they did. You were right. We were talking before the show. It was 0 of 9 on third down. Duke average, like, I mean, they.
If you would have bet, like, if someone had said you're going to hold an opposing team to 0 and 9 on third down and 31 rushing yards, I would bet
1.1 yards per carry.
Yeah.
And you're like, did you score more than 14 points? You're like, yes. You're like, congrats, you won.
I saw a stat. 5 times in the red zone, 4 field goals and 1 missed field goal. I think that ties back to I don't give a fuck. Our offensive play calling.
It's bad.
Is abysmal. It is fucking abysmal. And I'll be honest with you.
I would offer that Duke's defensive play calling.
Oh, it's great.
Is stellar.
It is.
Also, how about Manny Diaz?
Manny Diaz.
Manny Diaz secretly having like a revenge game every week in the ACC. Like he coached at NC State. He's going up against Mac Brown. He coached at Miami. It's like every week is Manny Diaz's revenge
Payback.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was.
I was
I
kidding,
think our
by the
offensive
way.
line.
I don't like anything about Duke.
Understand.
Obviously not. Yeah.
I think our offensive line,
to be
if I'm being honest with you, the complete revert. They went back to the offensive line that we don't love, and it was tough to watch, man. But the play calling, that fucking safety. They're stacking the box, and we run a draw. Like it's just a fucking Madden teenager could call better plays.
You just don't run a draw in your own end zone.
No, it's stupid.
Like it's like a slow developing like.
And we had
where
some
they get any
self-inflicted wounds, and there were a lot of drop balls and shit like that. But man, I'll tell you,
The receivers dropped a lot of passes.
They did.
And like, I mean, I don't, whatever. I don't care either. Like, if I think, no, I just, I mean, like,
He was crying when we got here. He was watching the highlights crying.
Here's the thing: drop passes are part of the game.
No, but when you drop a bunch of like 2019, because you've talked about it, you're like, dude, we would go to the facility. It's like every week, you're like, what are we doing here? You feel like, don't you feel like drop passes like that in a game this late in the season where things haven't gone to plan are kind of like a symptomatic of like where the team is in the headspace?
Kinda, yeah. Like it's either that or it's just like they just physically not locked in.
Right.
It just comes down to that. It's just like, bro, like regardless of where y'all are in the season, it's like, I mean, you either bought in or you not. Like if you not, then just like hang up the cleats and like put the stuff up and whatnot and just like go somewhere else.
What are you two getting?
Yeah, like
I was listening to you talking. I looked at Tom and he's in fucking La La Land.
let me preface by saying,
It was just like vacant eyes.
I was like, am I coming down?
no. So let me go ahead and just. I don't know if this is okay.
I don't care what you do.
Because then we'll have to try to figure out how to
I don't care
edit.
I don't care about editing it. I am a cannabis enthusiast, as everybody knows, and I got some new.
Jared's making a salient point about like what it's like to be a college football player in a good or bad season if you're locked in, and Max starts just like, look at the pretty lights.
Anyway, these
Sorry,
new
Jen.
cartridges.
We're also sponsored by
Pac-Man cartridges.
Actually,
and they are called Pac-Man. I don't know if you can zoom in on that, but look at that. What
I
the
should-
irony? I know Trent, you're
Cameraman,
you can't look at this.
Cameraman, can
I
you
should-
zoom in?
yeah, there's no cameraman. I should also point out that
No shit.
this is we're not. This is not technically sponsored by this, but we could be. My friends over at Nice Time Gummies.
Oh.
NiceTimeGummies.com. Legal. They're a Raleigh. It's the Fains. Catherine and John Fain run it. Like known them forever. They're from Raleigh. So farm raised, farm to table gummy.
Organic, non-GMO.
Organic.
Yeah.
No, but it's like
Vegan.
RFK approved.
# support local. But if you go to nicetimegummies.com, and they got some low key ones, they got some sleep ones that work great. Like if they're it's like it's not going to keep you up. You get but use promo code SPORTSBALL, and you get 15% off an order as well.
Sports.
I get nothing from this. I'm just helping them
Sports
out.
ball. I'm all about. I'm just wondering sports ball.
Catherine came up with the code,
Sports
not
ball.
me. Yeah.
Well, that
All
sounds like some
lowercase?
type of drug.
She was sports ball? No, she
That's
just like
speedball.
no, it's like Catherine was just calling. She's like, you know Sports Bros, right? How about use promo code SPORTSBALL and you get 15% off? I was like,
All right,
all right.
Catherine.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
check that out too.
So Trent, sorry about that.
We devolved. Sorry about that.
To Trent's credit, he like kept going and held his composure because I was like, how the fuck
Well,
are you
look,
doing?
It was a really good answer, too. I was terrible, like-
there's boxes of pizza over there,
You
and
know-
I was like, just kind of checking them out.
There's a piece of pizza in front
That's
of you.
Trent's. I'm not fucking reaching for that.
I was biting the inside of my lip so hard, trying to not laugh. And it literally was just like,
Just for the record, if any of our employers are concerned with the amount of giggling going on
Self-employed.
at this podcast, don't drug test
Look,
me.
like I said,
Anyway,
myself.
Trent, you were saying, so it's like I do think there's like it kind of felt like the receivers, the NC State receivers, late in that, it were just like if you're like, all right, it's senior day, we have to win this one, we win the next two. After this, it was like take one game at a time, and it just didn't feel that way at all from the play calling, and then to like Like you're just making like basic drops.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when you see something like that, it's like damn, do we like? Are we bought in or not? Like, what's the plan? Like, cause if we finna go out here and y'all not on the same page as us, there's no point. So like,
yeah. What did you were in the game? You didn't tailgate? Did you go to the game?
Yeah, I was there.
Is that?
Wait, I thought you were used all your eligibility.
No,
he was
How
at
many?
the game.
Wait, how many?
I thought you said in the game.
How many games have you been to?
Get him
like,
out of the
not-
stands.
How many games have you been to like not as a player?
I said I went to the La Tech game. I went to the Tennessee game. Then I went to this game.
Okay.
What'd you enjoy more?
Not Tennessee.
Not being at the game.
I ain't gonna lie. Every game I went, they lost.
Well, we beat La
we
Tech.
beat La Tech.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But
It was close though.
yeah. The crowd. I will say, like, and I think smart by Dave Doran to back off the comments about the fan base and the crowd. Crowd showed up and was good. Really surprisingly good for that Duke game. Where, especially the second half, I had my son out. He's a Weebalo. I had him out there, and he would actually think this is funnier than you do, the Weeblo thing.
Yeah.
But he was out there, and he's like, "Dad, we're leaving at halftime." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." So like, I didn't say for the second half, but it felt like with the way the game was going, everybody might check out. Fans stayed in there. It got loud for the entire time. Where does this rank for you on in terms of, and take out the number of tweets you get each week when we lose, but like where does this rank in terms of like expectation versus disappointment? Season, it's got to be
season.
Like, yeah.
Oh, at the top.
Really? Even worse than like Rivers.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that personal investment part of it too?
No, I mean, obviously, I've invested a lot of my time and money into it, but it's not just that. It is literally. I know that we no, unfortunately not. Yeah. When you look at the talent that we have amassed, Noah Rogers, Hollywood was getting ready to be the first running back at Oklahoma to start since Adrian Peterson.
First freshman. Yeah.
First freshman.
Yeah.
Noah Rogers why Noah Rogers isn't on the field every play, I don't know. KC Concepcion, Justin Jolie, we have a group of athletes that should put up 70 points a fucking game. And obviously the Grayson McCall, he was hurt, but we have, dare I say, a better quarterback than Grayson was.
Yeah.
And for things to turn out the way that they have, this is without a doubt the most disappointing season of any NC State sport that I've ever
Wow.
seen.
Wait, what about 2 seasons ago when you bet me $20,000 they were going to make the college playoffs?
I don't recall that. But
you bet me $20,000 they were going to make the college playoffs soon.
This team is so dialed in. I will bet you $20,000. NC State is in the Final Four. I was like, I will take that bet in a second.
It's like, do you want odds? Like 10 to 1, 100?
Straight up.
Now there's a couple of things that you can look at before the season that you try to wish for. Obviously, Peyton Wilson not being on the defensive side of the ball is huge. I don't think anybody.
We dramatically underrated, and this in hindsight it sounds pretty fucking stupid, but it's like we dramatically underrated what losing the best defensive player in the country would do, and the best defensive
player.
But I mean,
Tony Gibson defense it's a staple. I mean, and the reality is, again, we just shouted it out. 0 for 9 on third down, 31 rushing yards to the opponent. Yes, this is the biggest shit pile of a fucking season, the biggest disappointment that I've ever witnessed. And the fact that I have so much insight into what's going on behind the scenes, it makes it tenfold. So what about yours? As a fan that...
It's up there. Like, I think that when we struggled against Western Carolina, and then got our boots kicked by Tennessee, I'm more willing to do this now than I used to be, but I think I adjusted my priors. It was like, okay, we might just not be that good.
Yeah.
Like, and I think part of it was when we looked at this team coming into the season, it was like, okay, here are the 3 biggest concerns. Peyton Wilson is gone. You know, like you're talking about literally voted by everybody as the best defensive player in the country. The guy who'd been there for a long time, who's a leader in the locker room, who just, I mean, like he's playing at a really high level at the NFL, right? I mean, like he's gone. The offensive line, which had all the starts, but like, did we know if it would be dominant, able to like run well? And then the other thing, and I harped on this a little bit before the season. I probably should have been louder about it. But Bob and I's play calling sucked last year until after the Duke game when we lost at Duke, and you guys were. I mean, you talked about it. It's like everyone's like, look, we gotta like lock in and find a way. And they really changed the offense and started doing like creative stuff where they were using KC on the sweeps.
Well, that's what it turned into, and that's why I was so excited. I was impressed last year with Anai because he found a way to get the ball to his playmaker.
But he did it out of desperation.
Oh, no doubt.
And that was my concern, was would it revert back to what we'd initially seen? And I mean, I think it's fair to say too that, you know, like I killed Tim Beck for the screen game for years. Well, screen bill was still there. Like you're still running like.
I don't know. Maybe the guy that played football for State has some thoughts.
Well, I was about to ask. Well, let's let Trent get after that.
Yeah.
No.
Timing was perfect. Timing is everything.
Yeah, we'll give it a second.
If you had any,
No, I mean it's hard to watch.
We're sponsored by this pen and Pizza Hut.
I think Thayer Thomas, Trent, and myself, we recorded an episode that we're going to send, and we talked about it. My question was Stanford really fucking bad, or did we figure something out? And
no, Stanford. So NC State is currently, here's the bottom of the ACC standings. Everybody that's below 500 in the conference. Boston College at 2-3, North Carolina at 2-3.
Oh, we're fucking balling out, baby.
Yeah, you beat Florida State for the first time in Mac's career. That's good.
Yeah, us and every
Wake
other team that's
Forest,
played
Wake
Florida
Forest
State.
2-3, NC State 2-4, Cal 1-4, Stanford 1-5, and Florida State 1-7. By the way, Florida State.
thank God, like that's the
Jesus,
crazy.
like-
Weren't they preseason like number
top 10?
They were top 10.
Yeah.
So I
They
mean that.
spent all offseason bitching about not making the college football
All right,
playoff.
let me ask you guys a serious
And
question.
Boo's like, how do you like me now?
This question is for Mac.
Bobby Bowden.
No bullshit. Which is more disappointing?
Who's the hottest coach?
Yeah. Which is more disappointing? Florida State's football season, where they were preseason number 10. I think it was lower than that.
No, they're 10. Yeah.
And to be, I mean, just awful. Or UNC's basketball team when they were unanimous number 1 and didn't make the dance.
Seems like an unnecessary drag, but I like it.
I mean, I don't know how Florida State fans feel, so I can't really answer that question. And everyone knows we're a women's sports school anyway.
Yeah, and a lacrosse school.
Yeah.
By the way,
women's,
you want
men's.
to talk about something awesome? Mac, obviously, having his ties to UNC Athletics, is going to have Tyler Hansborough come on eventually.
We'll get Marcus Ginyard on here.
Yeah, I talked about.
We need to talk about that. Like, I would like to bring some dudes in from Carolina.
I would too.
But did we not talk about how like I was on the phone? Did we talk about this?
There were a lot of texts flying around.
I was on
just
I was
muted
on
the conversation.
I was on the phone.
Did you mute the conversation?
No.
I was. Yeah, you don't. I was on the phone.
Oh, we know you do.
Hey, you said 12:25, right?
Should probably answer my phone when it rings. My watch will ring. Yeah. I was gonna say real quickly. I was on the phone with Marcus Ginyard, and like he connected through like mutual friends.
He's
and,
a
like,
great dude.
And I was like, yeah, so we're doing this podcast. I was like, do you know Mac Hammer? He was like, oh man, I love Mac Hammer. He's like, how do you know Mac Hammer?
Because that usually goes one of two ways. They're like, oh man, that guy's great, or they're like, fuck that guy.
Like, oh,
He
you're
still
friends
owes
with
me
him? Bye.
money.
Yeah.
All right, I've got to do.
We got to take a quick commercial break.
Well, we don't have to. Go ahead.
No,
by all means.
Where did we end off?
Promo code ADHD Sports.
That's right, we're back here after a commercial break. I had to jump on with man Adam Gold to talk about the NFL locally, across the state.
The Panthers had a better weekend than the Wolfpack.
That hasn't happened much over the last 2 years.
No.
And they did. Yeah. You want to talk about the NFL?
No.
No?
Oh, no.
You want to talk about my fantasy team?
Yeah. Do you do fantasy football?
No, I got out of that. It was the greatest thing to ever happen to me.
Yeah.
You're the commissioner, aren't you?
Yeah. I had my buddy text me. He's like, I need you to fix my lineup. It shouldn't be locked. I'm like, it locks 5 minutes before the games, like it has every year for the last 20 years. And you're playing me this week, so tough shit.
Yeah, tough shit. I'm that guy that.
Did you keep the league just so you could go to Vegas for the draft?
No, we do.
Babe, it's your tradition. It's
Sorry,
an annual
sorry.
tradition,
We
babe.
do Pinehurst.
Oh, all right. Okay.
No, we've had this league since '99, actually, when we were all freshmen at NC State.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was that guy that would have the same lineup from the first weekend or to the final. Even bye week, I'd have that 1 week where I never check my shit.
That's that guy.
Yeah, I'm
That's why you're not-
ADHD.
Yeah.
Whatever. No.
What about Carolina? How about the Heels? 2-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Is Mac back?
No.
No? Mac's not back?
Who's going to be your next head coach?
I heard
Trey Bly.
I heard that's it.
That'd be a good.
Yeah.
I think.
I heard some. I don't. This is like unsubstantiated. I think it could have even been like I read it on IC. Sometimes when I'm depressed, I go on InsideCarolina.com and read it and just like laugh.
So I will say, I used to be an NC State hater. Like, when you guys suck at everything, I'm like, go Pack, man. And then we had our decade of sucking at everything. And
When was that?
Yeah.
no, I don't know. I can't really
Yeah,
remember.
no.
I
I mean,
sort
I
of
appreciate
blacked
what
it
you're
out.
trying to say.
You know.
See, I think when you say
So I'm not a
sucking-
hater now. I
You're
want
good.
everyone to do well
I think
except
when
for
you say
Dipper
sucking
Duke.
at everything, you're like ignoring the fact that you're good at basketball every year.
Yeah, but we didn't. I think we made
You
like
had
the
that
Final
one
Four
little-
that
We
year.
made the Final Four like once.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, you poor things.
So, do you? I think I read it on Inside Carolina or somebody said it, but it's like the whole thing about it was Carolina fans want Mac Brown out, and Mac Brown doesn't want to go, which could draw some parallels if you want to.
I mean, how much can you believe from that shit?
well, actually, Sean and I were talking about it too. It's like Giants fans are like, Brian Dable's got to go. It's like, he's been here like 2 years. Like, just settle down. Like, you can't. And that's just the nature of, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love Dave Doran, but I mean, I've definitely, like, I think it was like last year for the Boston College, I was like, it's time! Like, it's like
Did you watch any of the...
When you think about it, right, with college football now, with the transfer portal, NIL money, like, it's, you know,
It's not the same.
It's not the same, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the teams, and you probably saw a bunch of this. Like, the teams it's not a team, right? It's a group of individuals. You've got guys that have been there, paid their dues. Senior year, I'm going to start.
Yep.
And then Big Dick Harry from Clemson shows up, and he's like, back me up, buddy.
I actually had my a buddy of mine who's a Clemson fan make this argument. He's like, you know, in a weird way, Dabo's whole anti-transfer portal thing is now working out really well for him
Absolutely.
because he's got this roster of guys who have been there for a long time, sort of like, you know, like the 17, 18, 19, you know, like the teams.
They know the system. They
know
know each other.
They know the hierarchy. There's no like infighting. There's no debating like who's got what from NIL, all that stuff, and like it's kind of coming together for them. They're in a good spot. I think NC State definitely dealing with some of the, and not like, just like, you know, it's like you bring McCall, Smothers, Waters, Noah Rogers, like, well, I mean, how can we lose? And when you start losing, like, that ratchets up the tension of, like, who's getting what. Yeah,
no shit.
But then,
My
like,
bad.
But, like,
what is it with college basketball now? Is it 2 years? You have to play 2?
I think so.
Is that
Go
right?
pro.
No, it's 1 year, right?
To go what?
To go
pro.
one and done.
Is it
right?
one? Is it
I think it's one and done.
Is it-
Basketball?
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
one and done? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Duke, right? Duke's a good example of one and done, where they get these studs every year and they all score a bunch of points.
It's 5
but,
guys as
you know,
opposed to
they don't win like
or
a whole lot of championships.
Trent, we went to
Right?
the basketball game
Recently?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Duke. Yeah, we went
So
to
you
the
don't want to talk
basketball
about Carolina football, is what you're saying.
game. We can talk
We're a
about- I wanna
basketball
ask about
school. We're a basketball school.
Yeah, and so I mean, I watched that UNC Kansas game, and I mean, you can tell that's a good example. 2 teams that are just fucking stacked. I mean, Carolina, they might have lost the game, but they look really fucking good.
Well, that basketball team needs some haircuts.
Yeah.
That's just an old man statement, I think. I feel the same way about, like, you're like, this is a
I mean,
Willis guy here,
aerodynamic. You know, you got to be aerodynamic out there. Every ounce
I was
count.
talking to Keon, football-wise, remember? And I always wondered, guys with the dreads playing football.
Yeah.
And it's like, that shit.
One of our many unpublished episodes.
Yeah.
I heard like it helps with the hits. Like you don't really feel the hits as
And
much.
Keon was saying that it actually
Oh.
helps, like, him juke people. People, like, when the
Oh, yeah,
hair's
see,
going
people
this
watch
way.
the hair.
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. That seems like something like, just, that shit would hurt, man.
Yeah.
But basketball, yeah, so Trent and I went to the Wolfpack home opener, got to see our Final Four and ACC championship banners getting dropped.
That was incredible last year.
It was awesome. And so, you know what's fucking
that was
wild about
incredible.
that? So think about this. And as an example of the success that you're used to as a UNC fan versus what we're holding on to, the best free throw shooter in the ACC has to make 1 free throw. If he would have made that free throw in the ACC tournament, NC State versus Virginia, That's the J.J. Redick of the ACC. Missed a free throw. All right, that in itself is less than a 3%.
3%.
Less than 3%, right? So, wow. Then we hit a bank miracle shot.
2.75.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then the run happens, right? But if that one fucking free throw went
Sure.
in, that's like, what is that? Divine
Didn't that coach get canned too? What was his name? Tony Bennett.
He
didn't get
He
fired.
got forced out
No.
because NC State beat him.
No.
They ran him out of
Shame.
Charlottesville.
But by the way, it's funny too, like to think about.
Who will be coaching here longer?
Well, I was gonna say, so like if you go back to last Thanksgiving, like so we played Carolina in football on Friday,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Go back to Thanksgiving Saturday, and ask NC State fans, like they're like Doran had just won 9th game, going to a big Pop-Tarts Bowl, which I know the name is stupid, but it's a big bowl. Keats is like, I mean, just the basketball team is in the toilet, right, already. And so you
talks
enjoy
of
that.
Keats.
We play in Charlotte every year for some sort of bowl. The Mayo Bowl, the Chick-fil-A Bowl. It's always in Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's sport. Like,
Mac Brown's been tanking those to avoid getting Mayo dumped
Always
on
in
the
Charlotte.
Keats was.
But I mean, like, can you imagine?
He was bad. Like people, he was getting ready to get fired.
But can you imagine, like, and then like now, literally a year later, and you think about like Keats is like we're in like a second honeymoon with Keats, who's just raised a banner, and I mean, people are fair or not, are I think ready for some change in football.
They are. I mean, there's a
Now,
lot of folks that.
Dave can look. This is the reality of the rivalry. Like, you can go beat Georgia Tech in Atlanta and beat the Heels in the final game of the season. Get ball out. Like, are we at 4 wins?
We have to win 2
3
games
games
to
left,
make it a
right?
ball. We have 2 games left.
Will not be a big crowd of that ball. Dave
Yeah.
might be in an AFCO shirt.
So let me ask you this.
That's what I call the Mike
If
Tomlin.
we were to lose,
Just enough to make the playoffs.
They're 7-2 though. this
Yeah.
year.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait.
4 wins. If we lose to Georgia Tech,
We have 5 wins. No, we have 4 wins.
4.
Four,
If we lose to
No,
Georgia
we have
Tech
5. We have 5. We have 5.
and Carolina, is Dave Doran the head coach next year?
I think that is a difficult question because I don't think that Dave would go out like that.
Well, and he's not the AD, so.
Well, me, yeah.
Well, let me tell you
Or am I?
Are you?
Here's the
AD
thing.
undercover.
What
That's
is
our
the
next
most- what's
podcast.
the-
My thinking is that I don't think Dave would go out at 5-7. Like that being his last season, like as the all-time winningest coach at State, knowing that if depending on what happens with NIL this offseason, CJ Bailey might come back, or maybe like we don't know. I mean, okay, all right. Okay.
I'm just listening.
You smiled.
Well, I have my thoughts on it.
Well, I'm just saying that like it's to Mac's point, it's like it's so much different than it was even 5 years ago to say, all right, we have 5-7, disaster season. I know what I'm coming. You don't know what you're coming back to anymore with the transfer and the NIL stuff. Like your whole team could be like, right?
That's what I was going to say. So I think that there's going to be some attrition after this season, and I think not only that, there's going to be less funds coming in, and whether you like it or not, NIL is the most impactful component to sports right now, and it's I don't wish this on the Savage Wolves, Steve and Reed. I feel for those guys right now because it's impossible to get to how do you and it ties back to how wrong that whole setup is. Like the fans should not be responsible. It's like the stock market. We have a shit season that expectations are high, and good luck raising money. The dollar should come from other ancillary sources. Like
it's all very like chasing your tail because. Yeah. If you have a good season, people are like, okay, great, this is freaking awesome. Let's pump money into NIL and keep it up. If you have a bad season, it's like, wait, I just gave a bunch of money to NIL on top of my season tickets, on top of my Wolfpack Club stuff.
Exactly.
And not me specifically, but
Yeah, but I mean that's how it is. The burden again is put on the donor. It's put on the fan base.
Can I shift gears real quick?
Please.
I officiated a lacrosse tournament this past weekend.
How'd it go? Are you sold?
Let's talk about fucking parents of 5th graders to 11th graders.
Yeah.
The worst.
Maniacs.
The worst.
Mine's a 4th grader, so you can say.
I mean,
what makes them bad? Is it similar?
They
to
know
Little League
everything.
baseball? Yeah.
In a sport they never played.
Right. They're entitled.
You're always wrong.
Did you throw any parents
No,
out?
I had a parent heckling a kid on the field because he was skinny.
Was it Trent?
Nah, he wasn't playing. I would have noticed. I would have noticed him out
Trent, did you
there.
ever play lacrosse?
Nah.
I bet you would. Fuck people up.
My school low key wanted me to. They were like,
I would say fucking man.
Yeah, that's weird.
No shit.
You're a fucking monster.
Yeah. Dude, so no shit, years ago, this is before my kids were born, this is 20 years ago.
You used to heckle refs? Go
No,
practice?
I was. So I actually umpired Little League baseball games for quite a while. There was a time where I thought I was going to be an umpire. I wanted to be an umpire. And it was the parents.
The
Because
worst.
I played baseball my whole life.
Right.
And like, there's something about Little League baseball that is different. Like, it's
pure.
fun to watch. You know?
Yeah.
And it's pure, exactly. And man, it was, to your point, it was fucking awful. Like, I'm sitting there listening, and I told the coaches both, look, my strike zone, unless you want to watch these kids walk around the fucking bases all day, which I don't, like, if they can hit it, it's a strike, right? Like, teach them to swing the bat. And then you got half the kids up there that don't want to be there. They're fucking horrified. The pitch is coming at them. They duck. And the moms and dads are still, that's a terrible call. I'm like, this kid is pissing his pants at the plate.
Meanwhile, they can't see the fucking strike zone.
Exactly.
Right.
They have no idea what's going on.
It's like fans in MLB game. They're like, "What the hell, ref?" It's like, bro, like we see it on TV.
On the tracker on TV, it's right in the strike
Did
zone.
you see Dion yelling about the stuff being thrown on the field?
yeah.
What's your thoughts on, all right, let me ask you, TP. If Deion Sanders, if you were at NC State right now, Deion Sanders called
Yes.
you up and said, I want you to come play at Colorado. Even though it's going to be cold, there's a lot of benefits to living in Colorado, however, that I enjoy.
You're in North Carolina. You're enjoying the same benefits right now.
Yeah, but I can walk to the store there. I
No,
don't
he
have
was
to-
talking about skiing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, "Excuse."
The days are long gone. So yeah, TP. If Sanders calls you up right now and says, I want you to come be the tight end or running back, whatever, fuck, utility in the state that we're in, what are you saying?
You said in the state that we're in?
Yeah. Are you the guy that's going
Do
to
you
try
mean
to
like
be the
NC
glue?
State
Are you going
football?
to try to like keep the team together? Or are you like deuces? Bitch.
I mean, I don't know. That's a hard one. I mean,
What's
'cause-
Deion paying?
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All things considered equal. Your pay, your NIL.
Do you think Dave Doran's the head coach?
I think that here's from Dave's perspective. I'll be honest with you. Here's
I
what
don't know when
So
to
you're
sign
playing for Dorn at Colorado. Deion's at NC State.
Oh boy!
And he calls.
I'd
And he calls.
Oh, so do I? Here's what I think. The struggle that Dave's going to have to think about is this. This year could not have gone any worse.
No.
The only way it gets worse is if we lose the next two games. If we lose the next two games, I think that the money coming into the program is going to completely dry up. And I think the only thing that's going, and does Doran, and there's going to be a lot of attrition. And Doran's going to be left with, Doran's going to be left.
I'm sorry. I
He's
fell
going to be
asleep.
left with a decision to make. Does he want to be? If he went out after this season, I think his legacy here is pretty good. I think it's
Yeah,
decent.
it'd be a little bit of a disappointing.
It'd
finish
be a
in
very
there, but
disappointing.
yeah.
And there's certain things that I think
But
he's going to be remembered for.
If you extend it and like
Exactly.
you go have another 5 and 7
Exactly.
season with no
That's
talent.
my point. That's what I think he needs to think about. I think that's what our athletic director needs to think about. At the end of the day, being the winningest coach in school history is cool for him to put on his accolades, but the money is going to plummet,
Yeah.
and the level of athlete that we're going to be able to retain is going to plummet.
You
So-
should pull an Urban Meyer.
Heart attack. That's the move.
Yeah, totally.
That
Health
was-
reasons.
In.
Health reasons.
I got a huge.
And then go molest some chick in a bar and then get a new job.
I believe he just grabbed the butt, but yes. That was during his job with the Jaguars. With the butt.
Hashtag me too.
I'm just saying he was at his own bar and he grabbed a butt. No, remember he with Urban he
Maybe molest was a strong word.
Oh,
Sorry, Coach.
I was like,
We'll cut
we still
that
watch-
out.
I thought you said fast. I was like, I don't think they wouldn't call a camera doing that. No, he's definitely molesting. Yeah, but he was the Jaguars coach. They played Cincinnati on a Thursday
Oh
night.
yeah. Yep.
and the whole team flew back to Jacksonville after the game on Thursday. Urban did not fly back.
He was
He
gone.
stayed in Cincy to go to his steakhouse.
Classic
and
Urban.
get his grope on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and he's like punched a kicker in the face like during the warm-ups. And he was
You guys should get him.
We need that.
Urban would win. Yeah, I want to. I mean, like, if Dave left, the guy. I mean, this is like.
I want Tony Gibson. I want Tony Gibson to step into the head coach role.
I love Tony Gibson. Is that like a? Is the coaching? Is the? Sometimes I just wonder if like having the. You hear a bird or something?
It is the simulator.
Yeah. Sometimes I just wonder if like the coach and waiting thing is good for both sides, because you're like you for the fan base it doesn't feel like starting over. You know what I mean?
I think that Tony Gibson is going to be a head coach somewhere, and I hope it's here. I'm not saying that I hope Dave gets fired. I mean, I hope that we win the next 2 games.
What percent chance would you say C.J. Bailey comes back next year?
I don't know.
50-50?
I don't have insight to that anymore. I really don't. I mean, I've seen CJ make some public comments on Twitter about wanting to stay here, and I know CJ. I know his family. They're good people.
Have you known him since he was this big?
No.
Was he a neighbor?
No.
All right.
No.
He's no Davin Van.
He's no Davin Van. Yeah, no Davin Van. Yeah. But
did you rock him in your arms?
No.
Okay.
No.
Did you swaddle him?
No.
Did you want to?
What do you think? If you were Dave Doran, what would you do?
I would retire. Just because this season.
Do you think the Carolina game should impact it?
It's going to, whether we.
Because the bottom line is like if you win, if we win one, if you lose at Tech and beat Carolina, you're 6-6. Disastrous season from like what expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's so much more palatable to go out after beating Carolina than not. Like if I was Dave, I would have a hard. If I was thinking about retiring, I would have a hard time walking away.
Trent, you know Dave better than all of us.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think?
Ask Trent.
You think that Dave should retire, or do you think? Well, you know him. Would he retire?
Honestly, no, I don't think he would ever retire. I know him, and I know he's gonna try to like go. He's gonna do this as long as he can, literally. And
you don't think that he would like to have a legacy? So I think again, right now, if Dave was to retire, he would be remembered as the winningest coach with a final kind of disappointing last season.
I was just saying,
Wrap it up.
we're running over.
Oh.
Yeah.
What time? Okay.
Okay. Let's wrap up.
And I gotta go.
All right. So you think he walks away?
I think. Well, no. I
Is
think
Dave
he
the
stays.
I'll say this.
But
I think
he should.
Dave Doran has done enough for NC State football that he's earned the right.
To choose?
Oh,
To choose.
100%.
I agree.
It's more about what
Yeah.
this. Of course, and I agree. But if I'm him, do you want? Because it's not going to get better.
It's not going to get easier.
It's not going to get any easier.
Not with that fucking attitude.
It's not. We'll go
Hey,
with this.
we know who's going to Colorado. Deuces.
Yeah,
Tom's gone.
This is hard. Where's
Tom's
Dion?
gone. He heard, hey, this is Coach Prime. He's like, I'm in.
You are the motherfucker.
No.
I'm in.
It's like, yeah, F you, I'm out. Coach Prime called me. It's like, no, sorry, that was Steve Prime. I'm in North Carolina Central. You're back.
Anyway, well, hopefully this episode actually gets posted on.
No, don't say that to the camera. This episode will be posted.
It will be
just
posted.
like the last episode.
We'll get him.
Thank
up
you
there.
to the Albatross Golf Pub and Carrie. Reminder: come out and use. Whoa. Come. You already answered it. All right. Yeah. One little wheel.
Oh, wait, this is a different hole.
176.
This is more manageable. It's surrounded by water.
Yeah.
Come back.
Turn.
Drawing in there.
Oh, is that a hole?
Oh, he likes it.
He loves it. Oh, it's all over it.
That's all.
Oh, yeah.
Still a good shot. All right, let's make a U.
If one of us hits a hole in one, Tom's getting a gopher tat on his neck.
Mac's getting an NC State tattoo.
Ooh. tough out.
We said if I hit a hole in one, I'm gonna get Max getting an NC State tattoo. He says, "What if you don't?" I said, "I guess I'll just have to keep mine."
You can slide it.
Are we still recording? You want to?
I just started it again.
All right, is everybody in here? Kind of, sort of.